Hey y'all, welcome back to Voices Beyond the Pages. Today I want to talk about something that's been on my heart lately, and that's diversity in voices. Why it matters, why it's needed, and why it's so much more than just a good performance. As listeners, we all have our favorites, those narrators who feel like home, whose voices we could pick out in a heartbeat. And that's beautiful. But I also think it's important to remember that diversity in narration is just as important as diversity in the stories themselves. Because hearing a voice that sounds like yours, one with an accent like yours, a lisp like yours, a tone or cadence that mirrors your community, that's powerful. That's healing. I think sometimes we get so caught up in the perfect performance that we forget the beauty of imperfection, the humanity of it. Your voice doesn't have to be silky smooth to tell a story beautifully. Your accent doesn't have to be erased for your words to be understood. Your speech pattern doesn't have to match a standard to hold weight. Because for so many listeners, hearing those imperfections is what makes it real. It's what makes them feel seen and included in spaces that told them for so long that they had to change to be heard. But while celebrating diversity in voices, it's just as important to talk about accuracy in accents and dialects. Because it's not just about having someone who sounds like the character, but also about honoring the character's linguistics and cultural backgrounds with care. When narrators use accents or dialects without proper research or respect, it can easily slip into caricature. It can feel mocking instead of authentic. And that can take listeners out of the story or even cause harm. Getting it right shows the author, the characters, and the community represented that you respect them enough to do the work, that you value their presence on the page and want it to be heard the way it was written, with intention, nuance, and love. I get so excited when I see new narrators pop up on the scene. When I see someone taking their first steps into this work with a voice that hasn't been heard before. And I get just as excited when I see some of our favorites expanding, trying out new genres, exploring other VO spaces, and putting themselves out there in new ways. Because there's more than enough work to go around. And there's more than enough room for all of us to shine in our authenticity. And while we're talking about diversity in voices, it's important to remember it's not just about who chooses to narrate, it's also about who gets chosen. Publishers, producers, casting directors, y'all have a responsibility to broaden the table. Because if the same five voices are cast for everything, no matter how talented they are, we miss out on so much richness, so many perspectives, so many stories that could be told in a way that feels true. And before I wrap this up, I just want to speak to you guys, to the new narrators. Take the leap. Your voice is needed, your style, your cadence, your interpretation. It all adds to the richness of this industry. Don't let fear of imperfection keep you from stepping behind the mic. To existing professionals, be supportive. Remember what it feels like to start out. Celebrate new voices entering the field instead of seeing them as competition. Mentor when you can And hold space for narrators who don't sound like you, because that's what makes this industry powerful. And to the listeners, expand your audio palette. Try narrators you've never heard before. Explore dialects, tones, and performances outside of your usual favorites. You never know whose voice might open you up to a whole new experience. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who needs a reminder that their voice is enough, just as it is.